And I said, Dad, I'm pregnant. And he went, oh, shit. And of course, his first question is, when are you gonna get married? I was like, don't you think I have enough on my plate? Like, I'm dealing with, I got enough going on, just one step at a time. So I just graduated from college, 3.5 months pregnant. Didn't know what I was doing with my life. Ended up moving up to where I live, and we lived together, and then had the most beautiful little girl in the whole world. And when she was 8 days old, we got in a fight, and I ended up calling the police on him because he told me that she couldn't leave, that I wanted to leave and I wanted to take her with me, and he told me I couldn't. And so I called the cops and ended up moving out the next day. But by moving out, I mean he put all of our stuff in trash bags and set it outside of our apartment and took a picture of it and put it on Instagram for all my friends and family to see with the caption, "Come get your shit." And that was the first time I really saw who I was with and who I had just had a baby with 9 days before. And a month after that, he moved back to Conway to finish school, and we had a long-distance relationship where I was driving to Conway every weekend with our baby to see him. And the fights became more often, and the things he said became more harsh, and the things I did were more wrong, and he was always right, and he just never said he was sorry. I was always the one that was sorry. So, February of this year, he moved to Colorado to play football, and we made a trip. Tegan and I made a trip in April to see him for 4 days, and it was a good trip. But I didn't know when I kissed him goodbye at the airport it'd be the last time I'd ever kiss him, because when we got back here in May, we ended up breaking up for good. I mean, we'd broken up 100 times, but this time it was real. And within 10 days, he had a new girlfriend. He went on a trip and was messaging me, and the way I found out about her was his tweet. He had tweeted me for 3 days all these things, and then he tweeted, "Can't wait to see your face when I get off the plane." And so I found this girl on the internet, and I sent her all the messages he had sent me, and she got my number and called and said that they had been living together, and that she was sitting in her apartment looking at all of his stuff, and that he had told her that the trip we made in April, it was just my little girl and his mom, that his mom had brought her, and that we had been broken up since February. And that sucked. Really bad. Especially since most of the blame he put on me for all of it. Still to this day, I get blamed for most of it. And he was my first real relationship, first boyfriend, first love. And then to get pregnant so early on, I learned a lot about relationships, and I've learned even more through breakups. This breakup, that things don't always go as you plan. And of course, it would be awesome if the person you had a child with is the person that you could be with forever. But sometimes that's not the person for you. And so I've recently gotten back in contact with the guy that lived 8 hours away. He ironically He ironically moved back to town the same time that my child's father moved to Colorado and broke up with me. And so we've started talking again. You just never know who you're supposed to be with. You never know, and every day I realize a little bit more that if you just don't push it and you just wait, then God will give you who you're supposed to have. And so all I do every day, I wake up and I tell myself I'm happy. And I get out of bed with a smile on my face and I go wake up my baby and brush her teeth and her little fro and tell myself that it's going to be a good day and everything's okay. And yeah, it sucks to be alone. It sucks. Especially a single parent. I never planned this. I didn't think I'd be almost 24 and have a 1-year-old and not be married. But things don't go as planned. And so the only thing I can do is be the best role model I can be for Tegan, because there's so many things as I look back and I told a story that I'm ashamed of my actions and wish I could go back and do differently. But I take all of that into perspective when I think about the mother that I want to be for Tegan and the little girl that I want her to grow up to be and the relationships I want her to have and the kind of people I want her to have them with. So right now I've got a new job that I absolutely love. I've got a new car that I love. I'm in the process of getting my own home. I've got an awesome dog and a beautiful 13-and-a-half-month-old. And my focus is solely on her and being the best role model that I can be for her. And that's really all I have to say. I am Jack Bragg.
I am Jack Bragg.
I am Jack Bragg.
I am Jack Bragg.